Hello, Boozy Crew. I am coming to you today because I wanted to talk about the use of intuition in our readings. Up until now, we've been studying like the traditional book meaning of the cards and also like your own interpretations. But there's also that little intuitive piece, that spark, that magic, right? That brings life to your reading, that takes it that just that extra step up. People always ask, do you need to be a psychic to read the cards? No. However, we all have this ability, this, call it what you want, intuition, psychic abilities, however you want to phrase it. We all have that certain something. And if we decide to engage it in our readings, it just makes them all the more powerful. So how do you do that, right? That's the big question. So I'm going to give you a little exercise that I think is a good way to start off practicing that. So first, what we're going to do is, and actually I'm just going to take a sidestep here for just a second. I have the Wandering Star Tarot here. I think I've talked about this on Facebook, but I don't think I talked about it here. This deck was given to me, and it's a really great deck. I always start off with the Rider-Waite because that is the classic. Like I say, if you can read that, chances are you can read any other deck with ease because that's the foundation. This is a great deck because it's very true to the Rider-Waite, except there are key words on each card. And usually I'm not a fan of cards that have the explanations written on them because I find that distracting, limiting. I don't generally like that. But in this deck, I really like it because the words are just a launching off point. So let's look at the sun. The words are light, life, energy, or death, transformation, new beginnings, change, endings, right? So it's not saying this is what this card means, but it has these keywords. So that's just a little side note. I do like this deck. Okay, so we're going to do our intuition exercise. So I want you to, and this is going to be for yourself. If you're doing a reading for yourself, let's say you have a decision to make. You have some options. So I did this yesterday, trying to decide, should we have the opportunity to buy a car from a family member. Should we buy the car, or should we do the kitchen redo that we've been saying we need to do for 14 years? Or should we do both? So we're going to pull one card for each of those options. All right. So car, kitchen, both. Then I'm going to pull one more card that is guidance in making this decision, right? Because the cards are not going to tell us what to do. They're just going to give us some information. So guidance for making this decision, okay? So ideally, like before asking the questions, you're all grounded, you are calm, you're in a good space. When you pull those cards, see how you feel. How did you feel pulling that first card? How did you feel with the next one? And then you're going to say, all right, I'm going to look at these cards now. Card one for the car. Wow. Three of Swords. All right. So Three of Swords. That's like heartache. That is sadness. That is grief, disappointment. So how does that make me feel? Why would I be disappointed in this car? Well, would I feel like it was a bad choice? Would I feel like this was not the best time, and so I have regrets? Something to think about. And I'm going to lean into that. I'm just going to take a moment and feel, okay, how do I feel about what this card said? If I flip this card over, what do I need to know about buying this car? And I get this card of heartbreak and I'm like, no, I don't think so. Then that is telling me something, right? That is the intuitive piece. Like the card is saying, it's pushing me, right? It's like saying, all right, if this situation disappoints you, how are you going to react? And I'm like, no, it's not going to. That is some information there for me. All right, then we have the kitchen. Page of Wands. Page of Wands, taking action, a new start, burning that shit down, burn my kitchen down, a new venture from the beginning. Okay, how does that make me feel? Makes me feel a little tense. All right. So I'm going to take that information into consideration. Now, doing both. Five of Swords. We talked about our Five of Swords this week, didn't we? Five of Swords. This is, fives are difficult. Fives are conflict. And Five of Swords, there's a lot of people in that card, right? The one that is walking away from this whole mess. One that feels stuck in the middle. One that's pretty smug about the whole situation. Where am I in that card? Am I the one that's like, I can't deal, I'm walking away? So let me sit with that. And then the last card, what is the guidance in this decision? Oh, Three of Cups. I was talking about the Three of Cups last night. Sisterhood, friendship, support, family and friends, right? So the guidance is what's going to bring this energy in? Will buying the car bring this energy in? Maybe. Will doing the kitchen bring this energy in? Possibly. Will doing both? I'm not feeling both so much, So, so then I see, okay, how does this last card make me feel? Right? So this is just an initial way to start getting the intuitive piece working through. It's not your head talking. See, this is where it gets complicated, right? You don't want to rely on your brain telling you, okay, you pulled Three of Swords for the kitchen, for the car, so that must mean no. Nope, it's not a straight no, because we're going to lean into that. How does that make me feel? What is coming up? Where am I feeling it? Am I feeling like my shoulders get stressed? Am I feeling my stomach get into knots? So play around with that for yourself. Now you're saying, well, what if I'm doing a reading for somebody else? I can't tell them how, what my feelings are about the situation, because we don't want to do that in a reading. Person's not getting a reading for your advice. They're getting a reading for advice from the cards. So if you're doing a reading for somebody else, you pull these cards and you say, when you look at this card, how does it make you feel? What does it bring up anything in you? And probably they'll look at it and say, ooh, that heart with the swords in it, that's scary. Okay, scary. Is scary always bad? Scary can be kind of good sometimes because it pushes us. Or like, how do you feel with that Page of Swords? Oh, well, I like the green grass and I like the sun and they look pretty hopeful. So you just ask the person that you're reading, like, what are you keying into? What emotions are coming up around this card for you? And that kind of opens the doors for the energy to come in. And that's the whole psychic intuitive piece, is the energy that comes in that maybe you can't explain. You don't understand. Like none of us know anything about it really. But it's just like allowing that to come in. So I hope that makes sense. So give that little spread a try, of a decision that you have to make on something and see what comes up for you in the reading that is maybe different or brings in a new perspective than you had beforehand? And share with us because we want to hear. All right. Have a great day.